Good afternoon. Today I want to talk about patience because, to be honest, recently I've had quite a few things that have tested my patience, and it has truly brought me to a point where, you're just at that point of life. Anyways, patience. Patience is something you can have when you are, waiting for a lot of things or, dealing with certain aspects of life, I guess. And patience comes in many forms. Many different forms. Like, you can have patience for almost anything in planet Earth. You could be patient for something new to come, patient about losing, patient about a friend, behaving a certain way that you don't particularly vibe with. And what I've realized recently is being patient is always a fundamental value of life that is very overlooked through other people's perspectives. Now, forgive me for being a bit, maybe a bit more on the mature side today, but I've had my patience tested a lot recently. And it has made me realize how truly little people actually care for other people's patience through basically anything. Like, for example, you could be patient for, a very long time, and you feel like you are getting nowhere. Now, that's not a problem, to be honest, but what people don't realize is patience can only bring you so far. As for example, recently I've been dealing with some not so welcoming things in life, I shall say. I'm not going to expand because I don't want it to, become a thing that will negatively affect your patience, I shall say. But in recent times, the virtue of patience has brought people through a lot of things, good things, bad things. Patience is always something you should strive to have. Without patience, you would not have the courage or lack of understanding of who you truly are, to be honest. Because, in general, without patience, you wouldn't be able to deal with anything at all. You would just get mad at every single thing you see, and it would really affect your mood negatively for a lot of your life, which I find is not something that you should be, striving to achieve. All that said is, if you're patient, a lot of things in life will hopefully turn out for the better. Because from experience, I can tell you that being patient has been one of the greatest things that has come to me in a long time. Even though, people may be not the best in attitude or not the best in certain circumstances, or things may not turn out as good as you want it to. Patience will always help you to bring yourself onto a balanced level where you can truly gauge where you are in life. And I'm not saying that you always have to be patient, because there is times where you need to know when not being patient is fine, Like, obviously, I'm not saying don't be patient over games like Clash Royale and stuff like that. Like, being patient over games is always something you should have, because even though Clash Royale deleted all 10 of my decks in this new update, I'm still patient. And when I joke about the lucky drops being gone, yes, I do want them back, but patience is what I think will help to bring them back. And a lot of the times you may be saying, well, patience is just, you're just waiting, or you're just tolerating something. And yes, that is the case for a lot of times when you're being patient. But it's better than having a negative outlook on life, I would say. Because my point on all this negativity and a lot of influences of life is being positive and being patient is very, very good for you, to be honest, because a lot of the times you wouldn't want to be negative, and also it helps to bring a more positive environment around yourself, which I guess is more intriguing for other people, possibly. But I want to tell you guys a story about patience, and if you're still here, I appreciate it, and you being patient and listen to me talk about something that honestly, a lot of you probably already do, and I don't need to be telling you guys about this, but I want to tell you guys a story about patience. And so one day, well, not one day, this was a couple of years ago, when I had a very, very impatient friend. He would always resort to having very large outbursts and a very poor outlook on life. Now, I'm not saying that this friend wasn't the best. He had certain qualities that made him a very good person, but these outbursts were very, very very detrimental towards how people saw him as a whole, and how it affected his mentality. A year after we made it into our senior years, he was negatively affected, sorry for the scoff there, but negatively affected by his patience because of a singular time on a road. Now, I know you may be saying, a road? What has a road got to do with patience? Now, me and this friend were waiting by a roadside, and this friend was complaining about, traffic, whatnot, is just the normal. And he got mad, and he, out of his impatience, rushed out onto the road and subsequently got hit by a car. Now, this may not be the most perfect way to portray patience in the mental sense, but it does portray a light value of what would happen to a lot of people without patience. Now, yes, my friend did survive. Recently he's gotten a lot more positive. And yes, I understand, sometimes patience may wear out to the point where you feel like you cannot take it anymore. And by all means, I am not telling you to be patient all the time, because there will be times where you will not be able to stay patient and you will, have to let it out eventually. But all I'm saying is, don't get impatient over the smallest things in life. Like if someone insults you, or if someone is picking on you, try to find a different way of dealing with them instead of lashing out, I would say, and revealing your impatiencies that would negatively affect you in a sense that would, subsequently not be that well for your well-being. And I've had to deal with a lot of things in my some years of living. Some of them could include hardships, some of them could include loss of friends, some of them include, disagreements between people I know and what values that people hold. Some of them are influenced off what happens in day-to-day life, and other things are influenced by how people treat you in general. Like, I've had a lot of these experiences, but what I've learned from all of it is that a lot of the times patience is a very big help in being able to mediate these very rapid discrepancies in life. And being able to stay patient has allowed me to realize that not everything in life has to be perfect. There can be times where you're not feeling the best. You don't need to feel the best, but being in a calm mood a lot of the times has helped me to mediate a balance in which I can find something that I enjoy, find something that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be something that you have to stick to for the rest of your life, but you can find something that you can enjoy at the moment and stick to it. Find a path between that activity and your patience, and subsequently bridge a connection between patience and your activity, which would help you to subsequently find a better place than where you are. Not all patience is negative. You could be patient waiting for a ticket at the DMV, or you could be patiently waiting for your food to cook. But a lot of the times you don't realize that you already have patience within you. So all I'm saying is, when you deal with those hardships in life, it's very important to be patient and very important to be positive. And that's all I got to say today. I know it's the first video back after my Monday break, but yeah, me testing my patience over the past couple of days has made me realize that a lot of the times you just have to be positive and patient. So I thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.